I'm gonna be honest, I've been playing this game a lot solo. Because there is a single player mode. This is a game I was doing with friends. This is, yeah. I just cleared, I'm either cleared or reached level 8 last session. I am not gonna jump into this game because I've already got a bunch of stuff and it's not gonna give a good evidence or give good insight into my process. So, I'm gonna start over from level 1, and our level 1 is a headmanner. So, here we are. Now the big thing you gotta keep in mind for solo is that you only have the one life. If you die, it's game over. So obviously your priorities are a little different, and the way you handle things is a little different. Now this first level is super easy. It's extremely basic. It's like the game's version of a tutorial. So there are only 2 enemies in the map, I believe it's like a tier 3 and a tier 1. Where is all the scrap? We've only got a quota of 8,000, which is extremely low. It's extremely low. It's about half the size of my normal level 1s. They're normally at around, like, I guess not quite half, but it's like 14 to 12k. This is 8k, so it's pretty low. So it must not be a lot of good, valuable scrap in the map. And that is because every single point of stamina counts. And getting to the point where you don't have the stamina left in your tank to run away from the clown. I don't think he'll track me in here. Yeah, there he goes. Did he steal my cart? He's stealing my cart. He is stealing my goddamn cart. You fluffin' bastard. And a spewer. Okay, so it's clown and spewer. These spewer guys are really, really simple. They have no threat at all. They can only hurt you if you try to resist them. So I'm just gonna sit here and wait for him to go away. Go away, buddy. Thank you. Now enemies actually will run off and leave you alone after a while. And typically, when they do that, they despawn. They don't always despawn. Okay, we can hit quota now. But another thing you really want to do is overloot. You want to get as much surplus as possible, because levels just keep on getting harder and you need upgrades and equipment to keep up with it. This first level, it's often trivial to fit the entire level's worth of lootables into one cart. Especially when there's only like 12k worth of items in the entire level. Well, I guess like 15k, but whatever. Alright, and that is basically a full clear. It's fairly trivial to full clear level 1. Now we're going to cross our fingers and pray that Clowny despawned. Did I go in here? Apparently not. Oh, there's plenty more stuff in here. Okay. Oh, good lord. There's like tons of stuff in here. Okay. Now this vase Thought I heard the stompies. This vase is actually very difficult to wrangle, but it is extremely valuable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the point. I'm going to offload as much as I can of the bulky stuff. So that the vase will fit in the cart. That's another thing that's important to know how to do, how to manage your cart storage. Because you don't have 4 pairs of gravibeams to carry stuff in, you got your 1. Now these vases are too heavy to lift under normal circumstances, but they are just barely too heavy to lift. So what you do is you prop it against the cart like this, and then you grab the bottom end. I'm not doing it right. And then you sort of lift and push. Lift and... whatever. I'm not very good at it. It probably takes like 1 strength upgrade to do properly, I think. But you can sort of finagle them into the cart on your own without the strength required to lift them. You have to actually wait until that finishes before you can extract. There we are. And that was level 1. Now things don't start to get much harder until about level 4. Of course, things gradually start expanding, but things don't really start ramping up in severity until level 4. So it's important to get a good weapon early on. We don't have any weapons in... We don't have any usable weapons in the shop. I know I can... The mines are one-time use. The grenades are one-time use. There's a prod zap. I don't even know what that does. I don't care. I'm looking for a couple things in particular. I'm just gonna straight up save everything, I think, because there's a little thing you can do. Actually, I'm gonna buy this health upgrade. Having 1 health upgrade is actually very important. But I do want to save the rest for if there's a big weapon that spawns in the next shop. Having the 1 health upgrade is extraordinarily important though, because that gives you 120 health, and a lot of the quote-unquote instant kill monsters deal 100 damage. Like the clown deals 100 damage with his laser, the hunter deals 100 damage, Headman even deals 50 damage. So having that extra health upgrade allows you to survive 1 more hit from basically everything. Now these levels where there are 2 extraction points are some of the most dangerous. They're not the hardest, but they are some of the most dangerous. There's the combination of not having a lot of equipment because they spawn early in the game before you've had a lot of shop runs and shop cash to spend, combined with the fact that the run back is the longest it will ever be if you know what you're doing. Now the run back sections are dangerous because everything respawns constantly. The runbacks are dangerous because enemies don't stay dead at all. Their spawn time is set to like 1 second, so maybe they'll stay dead for 30 seconds if you kill them. But it is extremely dangerous. You want to minimize the time you spend in the runback. And there's a way to do that with 3 and up point maps that you can't do with 2-point maps. So the 2-point maps have the longest runbacks. Which makes them dangerous, especially when you don't have the tools to handle a long run back very well. It's this time it's a tier 2 and a tier 3. So the tier 3 was the clown. Oh my god, that made me jump. It might actually just be a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3. I think it might actually be in some cases. But that is, this is Bella, one of the new enemies. And I have discovered that Bella does not give a flying fluff about you unless you stand in her way. So do not stand in her way, and she will basically just ignore you. She's literally ignoring me. I'm not hiding at all. That, however, is a dangerous thing. He's gonna blow up my cart, isn't he? Okay, good, he got away from the cart. Okay. That is the cleanup crew, another one of the new guys. He's got omnidirectional eyesight, and it's pretty good too, because he has like 5 heads on his body. But basically, he throws a head at you, and it explodes after a few seconds of being down. So the trick with him is you just run away. Remember, heads can pick up speed quite easily, so you do want to try and like run around corners and stuff. But overall, cleanup crew isn't too dangerous. He's dangerous to your scrap though, because again, the heads explode. Just trying to stay out of Bella's way. Because Bella is like the apex predator in that they aren't too dangerous unless you anger them, and then they're extremely dangerous. You okay? You just hiccup? Just gonna... God damn it. Fortunately, he only throws his head if he has a lock on you for a couple seconds. Now, another thing you want to be sure to do... You followed me all the way back here, huh? Just make sure your cart's in the center of the point. Excuse me, Bella. Because that's where the bag comes down. And if the bag falls, it'll take damage and you lose your surplus. And sometimes it'll fall and drop directly into a pit and break immediately. And that's really fun. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't. So I'm going to start sprinting now. Because it's just Bella in the map. And that means I am basically... Not only am I safe to sprint, but I want to sprint. Because there's only so much time before cleanup clear respawns. So for the next 2 or 3 minutes, I want to be rather quick and expeditious, so that I can get as much done as possible before I have to start worrying about Mr. Head again. You are 100% following me around. God, that's new. That's ambience. Uh-oh. Oh, that didn't hurt me. I was just barely far enough away from it. And that's why you don't sprint out recklessly. I do not know why that didn't hurt me. Must have a much shorter blast range than I'd realized. I guess it also is supposed to do physics damage, but I wasn't close enough to a wall for that. Okay, so Mr. Cleaner's back. Remember, he sees omnidirectionally, so we gotta be very careful about him. One last portable for good measure. The trick is to run back as much as possible before the lights go out. Once the lights do go out, you gotta be really careful. In later levels, you'll want to get a good hiding spot right when the lights go out, just so you don't get jumped by anything. But with just cleanup crew, I think I can get around them. And here's Bella. Excuse me. Go on. I'll clean these between me and the truck, I believe. Because he's not behind me. Or not, okay. I have no idea why that head didn't hurt me. I feel like it should have. I hope I'm not bugged. That would be really lame to try and do a look how good I am at this game video and then I end up being bugged and invincible or something like that. I've never had that happen before though, so I hope it doesn't happen this time. Okay, sword, that's decent. Indestructible drone is also pretty good. But overall there's nothing really of value here to buy. Strength. 2 health upgrades of 6k each are also pretty solid purchases. Getting above 200 is also a very important milestone. Oh, the stamina upgrades are also very affordable, the first few. They're 2k apiece. So we're going to upgrade ourselves up. I think I'm also going to grab a crouch rest upgrade. That'll leave us with 24k. So we'll get some good strength scaling going into 3. This first strength upgrade is important because it lets you do a lot of decent things with some of the medium scrap items. We got our stamina up to 60 and our max health up to 160. And that is good. I'm kind of antsy about not having a weapon going into stage 3. But because this is I believe the last one that has 2 points. So this might be dicey because I don't have anything to really deal with enemies yet. I could have bought the sword, but I don't trust myself to use melee weapons properly. They're just not. They're a bit too finicky for me. I'm actually gonna bring this sextant back to the point. And this is a 16k point, so there's a lot of valuables, or there's a lot of total worth in this level. And that sucks. Because if there's a lot of total worth in a level with only 2 extraction points, that means you know something like a grandfather clock spawned, and those are nightmares to handle. Now once you can start getting on to level 3... Gotta be real careful. Because this is the first one where you get 3 spawns, because I'm pretty sure there were still only 2 spawns in... I think it actually does scale the enemy count slower in single player. Oh no! Okay, a loom just activated. The thing about loom is loom always knows where you are. That's like loom's entire gimmick. It is literally impossible to hide from loom. Is there even a loop? I can loop loom in this area, but I don't need to, I think. Now loom is annoying Loom is annoying as hell. Hello! Hello, Loom. I was just talking about you. All good things, but not dangerous. I honestly... Ooh, that's the door frame. I love what they did with Loom. Loom is such an intimidating creature. I like how it ducks to go under the doors. Its head is always looking at you, no matter... Even if it's stunned. So as you can see... Ow. That should have done 100 damage. Am I bugged? I feel like I'm bugged. I mean, it still did, what, like 25? That's still a lot of damage. So Loom always knows where you are. But Loom will eventually go away if I just walk away from her for long enough, because Loom is slow. Stupidly slow. Like, literally, I'm walking and I'm outpacing her. Okay, I heard something else, and that's dangerous. That's Loom's real threat, when it combos with other entities. Also, it makes a really annoying noise. And there she goes. So Loom pieced out, and now Loom is gone. Now, the biggest flaw with Loom as a character or as an enemy, not really a character, in this update, in single player especially, is that you saw the little hands, the hand little vignette appeared on my screen briefly. That symbolized that I was being targeted by Loom. That only changes when Loom's target updates. So when Loom respawns, I will not see that again. So now the next time Loom appears will be very much a danger to me, because I will not be able to know. But that's our tier 3 for the map, which is actually not too bad. You're back already? That's weird. I'm just gonna, like, see if I can get you stuck. Well, that didn't work. I don't have to wait for Loom to go away to do things. As long as I keep moving, Loom can't do much to me. Because again, Loom moves at my walking speed. So as long as I can keep looping, as long as I can keep distracting, I just gotta hope that I don't run into any of the other monsters. Because that would suck. Because again, monsters are programmed to leave you alone after being around you for a while, and that does include Loom. So Loom will give you a break every now and then. I thought it was longer than like 30 seconds though, and I don't even think I got that. But this is at least a very good way to prove that Loom is not an instant game over solo. I mean, provided I actually survive this. I mean, she clapped me once. I only got physics damage from it, but I would have survived that even without my HP upgrades. I was debating not bringing the cart and just trying to wrangle one of the big items onto whichever big item is closer to the point. My current main concern is that I have not seen my tier 1 yet. Ah, speak of the devil. That is a rude combination, I just realized. Are you gone? You're gone. Oh, hello! Don't. Oh, what's going on with my screen? Oh my god, go away. Okay. Um... Okay. That guy is largely stationary. Well, he ain't exactly made of paper. He's not very mobile. Oh, my cart's alive. I thought it broke my cart. What? As much as I'd love to also get the harp, I would also hate to with a passion, so I'm not going to. Is that in? Don't go through any closed doors because of you. Now that we know you're behind me, we can go through all the closed doors we like. And that is how you deal with Lumen Solo. Easy squeezy. Very annoying, I will admit. It is one of the most annoying entities to get in Solo. Because you just have to wait it out. Photon Blaster. I could get a Photon Blaster and have a weapon, but I really hate how the Photon Blaster handles. I just hate it with a passion. Okay, now we got 90 stamina. That's basically enough stamina for the entire game. You don't need more than that. 2 strength, 3 health. Getting up to 4 strength is important, but past 4 strength, it's hard to justify the cost with how many strength upgrades you need. Okay, yeah, now we get 3 points. And 3 points are easier than 2 points because the runbacks are shorter. And I'll show you how that could possibly be the case in larger maps that are objectively larger once we get to the point where it's relevant. Ah, I was just complaining about not having a weapon. Unfortunately, as much as I'd love to continue calling that the ultimate weapon, it doesn't really work on like half the entities in the game. I've killed a hunter with it. He's light enough that you can blow him straight up into the air, and then he'll fall and take damage, and he doesn't hear that happening somehow, because he's a moron, and he'll just keep, like, he just, like, oh, I didn't actually realize things could spawn in toilets. Not sure how I feel about this. But hey, it's money, so... Whatever it is, didn't feel like coming through the door, I guess. That sounded like a spewer. Yeah, spewer. Spewers are so annoying, and I get them all the time. And closed goes the door again. I don't know why I keep hiding. I know it's the spewer. absolutely terrible eyesight, so I'm not going to get spotted under here, even though he's got a good angle, which he could spot me at, even if he turns towards me. But they're so quiet. They make almost no noise when moving. The thing about things making noise is, as you can see, like, listen. Stuff doesn't make as much noise when you're not looking at it. He despawns pretty quick, though. They give you like a static effect on your screen when they spot you, but their eyesight is so terrible they don't spot you until they're very close to you. And that wouldn't be a problem if they didn't move so silently. If you're not looking at them, they're almost impossible to hear. So that means they can get pretty darn close to you before seeing you, and you can't hear them get close to you. So the static is supposed to be an indicator, but it doesn't happen until they're very close. You can't hear them very well. So there's hardly a way to tell that a robe is behind you, when almost any other enemy has a sort of tell. I think that was me bumping the door. Unfortunately, I do have good odds of surviving an attack from a robe. Okay. Here's where tactics come into play. There's a point here, see? But there's more map in the other direction, and there's going to be a third point in that other direction. So if I go to that spot where there's more map and activate that point instead, then I'll have a shorter run back, because I can run back from here instead of from the furthest point. I'm pretty sure I have quota in the cart right now, but I want to check this last room first. Yeah, 'cause there's a couple more things. Oh my heart! Oh my heart! Oh my heart! I didn't think you'd be down here. I did not think he'd be down here. I'm pretty sure I would have survived one hit from him, but that was probably the closest I... closest I've come to dying yet. I think he left, though. This is scrap, huh? Well, there's no way I'm getting that up the stairs. Like, that's a fever dream. Like, it's just not happening. Again, it's weird. I haven't seen any of the other enemies except I know Gargly exists, the spewer. Even now, I'm not going to go below 50 stamina. Head crab, I see. He's not very observant either. please go any other way than that way. That's cute. He has a little "I don't see you anymore" animation. Alright. We're past everyone. We get a good free room before they have a chance of spawning in front of us. Here we are. Alright, we're out. Fun fact, I had a solo run that ended on stage 1 after about 30 seconds because of a robe, because I didn't hear him until he was 3 steps behind me, and I didn't get his tell until he was 2 steps behind me, and then 2 steps later he killed me before I had a chance to drop what I was holding and start running. I really think that there needs to be some indicator that a robe is present in the map, like the loom, because they're a combination of silent, fast, and deadly. Like I know they're zero gravity orb. That's not the drone though. That's an orb. If they chased slower when you weren't looking at them, I know they get faster when you look at them, but if they still chase pretty fast even when you're not looking at them. Like you can outrun them, but not with the base stamina pool. I don't know if I want any of this. This all is junk. Actually, how long have I been going? Yeah, about an hour. Alright, I think that's just about enough, so I will see you guys next week. Thank you for watching.